Which No Kings protest are you going to? Is a question I sent out to a lot of my friends in the last week. And the responses have me shook. And I want to talk about it. And I feel like there's some responsibility. We need to have some responsibility time, everybody. Hi. Let's start with this. If you're not familiar with No Kings is one of several national protests that have happened here in the United States. I've gone to multiple protests in multiple cities, and No Kings is one of the biggest ones that has happened. I don't remember what the exact numbers were. You can go look this up, but I think something between like 3.5 and 4 million Americans showed up in this thing. Could be more, somebody fact check me in the comments. And it was ridiculous just how many people were here in Detroit meeting in front of the DIA. Or maybe that was a different protest. And we are now having another No Kings protest. Because I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the America that I grew up in, as the son of a military captain who is also queer, but also grew up in a Christian world, and now did work in tech, but now doesn't work in tech, has been noticing in the world, there's some problems. We got some serious, big problems, like 5-star alarm, red blaring lights alarm problems in our governmental system. And it's hurting people. There are so many people dead now because the U.S. has not provided the aid that we used to provide. And on occasion, we literally burned it instead of giving it away. That's not to mention all of the damage that has happened here in the U.S. This is not a video about how terrible it's become. Watch for part 2. So I text a bunch of my friends to figure out where they're going, because obviously they're going to the protest. Who in their right mind could not have been protesting 6 months ago and have been protesting and community building this entire time? And now I'm talking to my friends like, which No Kings are you going to? Because you have to have figured it out by now. And I get these responses. I get, what is No Kings? Ma'am? How disconnected from the world of activism, from the world of progress, from the world of your engagement matters to make our society function. It's not a free ride. You have to engage. You have to be an informed electorate to run the country. And if you're not going to engage, then some of this stuff's going to happen. So for you to not know what the No Kings protest is truly mind-boggling to me. Just mind-boggling that you would be so disconnected from the world of people trying to stop the sinking ship that you don't even know about an event which will have how many millions of Americans at. Big. I get other responses too. I'm not going, I'm busy with brunch responses. More than people, my friends' groups are having brunch. They're too busy with brunch to attend a protest. I have no words other than I hope you choke on your mimosa. Because are you not aware of all of the rights we have lost for trans people? Are you not aware of all of the rights that are in question for gay people or queer people or however you want to identify? Just anybody who's not cishet white male. Or couple other privileged groups looking at you, and not even all cis white men. We are losing huge amounts of rights, left, right, and down the center, and the ones we haven't lost are currently in the court system because they might get lost, and you can't show up for a protest for 3 hours because you're too busy eating brunch. Hello? Hello? Girl, we have problems. There are problems. You need to put down the toast and get out to the protest. Get out. We gotta go. We gotta go now. It's time to go. It's time to go. I know you ignored the problem for a long time and you just sat there and went, la, 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 I'm busy. I have things to do. Hello, wake up. We have protest time. Protest time. I also got responses back from people saying, well, I'll go, but I'm bringing a burner phone. Ma'am, I have just a comment for you. Are you not aware that you live in a surveillance state? Are you not aware that you live in a surveillance state? That all of your devices connected to the internet are collecting all sorts of data on you, which is being processed by levels of computer programming with levels of processing power that your brain, ma'am, has not even begun to comprehend the power behind. Not to mention all of the things that AI is currently doing that we don't know about or will be doing shortly. Yeah. None of your information is private. Everybody who's on the wrong side of the red line has already been deemed you're on the wrong side of the red line. All of your data has been collected. It has all been processed. The corporations have all sold it back and forth to each other and exploit it all of the time without your knowledge or consent while actively lying to you. And if you don't believe me, go look at all the court systems that have worked. And how do I know this? Because I worked as a digital marketing executive for 15 years, which I've now left that industry because that industry is now evil. It is an evil industry at this point in time. Yet we have big tobacco and digital marketing right next to each other, boys and girls, right next to investment bankers most of the time. I got that response. You're in with us. I know you didn't want to join, but you're in now. You're in now. What else did I hear? I heard, yeah, I'll go, but I'm going to go to a different city because I don't want to be tied up here in my local city. Like, I don't want it to be known that I'm in the protest. Again, we are at a 5-alarm fire. It is time that you showed up to your neighbors. Number 2, you need to be willing to get over a little bit of conflict here, babes. You need to be willing to get in a little bit of conflict because we're in a 5-alarm fire and you need to be willing to have some conflict. And number 3, grow a spine. Grow a spine. I love and light to everybody out there, but there are times that you need to tie your boots a little tighter and just keep going. I would love the world to not be that way, but there are times you need to just step up to the plate a little bit, put on your big boy pants, as my father would say, and be willing to have some conflict and be willing to be uncomfortable and be seen. You just gotta step up sometimes. Other things I heard back from people. I just didn't hear back from people. That was a pretty big response. And it wasn't necessarily because they were busy or they didn't see the text message, because other things were certainly happening. They just didn't respond at all in general. Which is, again, positively confusing to me that you're able or willing to not engage this entire thing. 2 last thoughts. If we lose more than what we already have, which will be a lot, if we're not able to defend the thing that we have, which for all of its flaws and failures does have some good elements to it, the fact that so many Americans can just fuck off and not pay attention to politics or social engagement for decades means something has been good enough around that you haven't been paying attention. And the fact you haven't had to be paying attention until now speaks to how good of a thing that we actually have, which is worth defending and engaging in while hoping to change and evolve. We've got a lot of things change and evolve. But what we have now is not that bad. It's not that, and if it's not that bad, you need to go visit some other countries. I've gone and visited some other countries. Girl, when we talk about bad, all of the bad in your day happens to them before they wake up in the morning. It's bad as bad. You don't know what to be hungry is. You have no clue on what it is to mean I don't have anything to wear in my closet. There is no idea that you have ever experienced about not having access to basic medical care. I am meaning a Band-Aid and bacitracin that you would have permanent access to walk into any store and say, I have a cut finger, please help me. And there would be Band-Aids and bacitracin galore. It's not that bad. It is worth defending. The last one is, what do I mean by defending? And this is a big one. And I feel many people take many different perspectives on this. And I love and respect all of you. To be resisting or to be engaging can look really, really different and sometimes even contradictory. It can be disengaging completely from any entanglement to the best of your ability with a governmental system, and then working to build new systems that come in the future. It's not the disattachment, it's the disattachment and build option. Great resistance track for you to pick. Love that for you. Here for that for you. Other people have kind of picked the opposite track, which is I'm going to go get more politically involved, either with historically the Democratic Party or maybe some third-party candidates, or instead of national, maybe state or local, or maybe not state or local, you're around a particular policy group, which is spanning a couple of states. Like, all these are options, right? So you may have gone and gotten more politically involved in any one of these ways. And that is what resisting looks like for you. Love that. Good resistance track. Some people, it's finding all of their engagements with all of the corporations, all the subscriptions, all of the times they're going to Walmart instead of going to their local farmer's market. Finding all the ways that they have been engaging with the corporate system and trying to the best of their ability, given the limits of their resources, disengage and pull back. Take data out of Google, put it in Proton. Pull our data out of the digital webs as much as possible, delete, unsubscribe, limit access to information. That is one way that people resist. Great resistance track. Some people have gotten super engaged in building community. They've gone out there and started organizations. They have found other organizations they're volunteering for. They're actively networking groups, people between the groups, finding and listening to needs and resources, trying to build independent organizations, right? That is another track of resistance. Great for you. Good resistance. Another track of resistance is saying, I, or my family and I, or my community and I need to get some things right because it's about to go real wrong. We've been putting this under the rug. We've been ignoring this issue. We've been skating on ice. We've been living on credit cards. We've been living beyond our means. We've been saying, I'm just waiting for the right thing to show up. We've been doing that for a minute. And now we're seeing this in our life. We're addressing it. We're coming back to it. And now that we're back to it, we are working our best to resolve these issues in our bodies, in our minds, in our relationships, in our hearts, with our health, with our finances. You're trying to get your house and your people in order so that in the future, because this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. This isn't over in 6 months. There's no way this is over by Christmas, everybody. It's not coming for Christmas. It's going to keep going. We got like another several Christmases of this before it's done. We got a while, and when it's done, it will not be done. We are now living in a different governmental system. It has been pushed beyond the point of anything that we could have thought 10 years ago. I mean, I was super into politics 8 years ago. No way could I ever have predicted what's happening right now. It is currently 2025. Think of you in 2015, everybody. What were you like in 2015? Where were you? What were you wearing? Did you have a cell phone? Yeah, 2015. And now let me tell you what's happening today. Actually, you just tell you. I'm going to give you a minute. You just tell your 15-year-old self what is happening today in the court system, on social media, in the oligopoly. at the border, inside of an ICE detention facility, inside a rural hospital that is shutting down because it no longer has funding. In the pantries, in the kitchens of 50,000 plus Americans who have lost access to basic food stamps to keep themselves and their family fed. To all of the people who have lost access to their health care, which is extraordinarily expensive and extractive and corporatized in America, that you can't afford it yourself, and it's not provided by your government, and your business probably doesn't really offer you anything meaningful. It may offer you something, but you'll still be paying thousands of dollars. To all of those people, can you just explain to yourself in 2015 what's happening to all of those people right now? Let them see inside of an ICE facility. Let them see inside of privatized jails. Yeah. What would that person think, coming back to you now? What would that version from 2015 think of you? I mean, myself in 2015 could not have imagined the world that we're in. And I think that speaks to how far we've slidden away from what is normal or right or real or grounded, because we live in a fluid society and people, things, objects, subscriptions, information comes and goes in a passive way, and our nervous systems are just ginned up to be hyper awake and hyper fixated all of the time, using all sorts of technologies, social media, and all the rest of it to influence you in meaningful ways. And again, this is coming from a guy who works in digital marketing, or did, now I work as a gardener and handyman, but who did work in digital marketing for 15 years and taught it at colleges and had big corporate clients. It is so manipulative of your brain. And the way the information is served to you is optimized to keep your engagement really high. The reason you saw this video is likely because it was recommended to you. And the reason that it was recommended to you is because the algorithm thought that you would watch a lot of this, or you'd comment on this one, happy or mad, you'd share it, and like, share, and subscribe. And that is why you're seeing this video. Because it was deemed that would extract more of your time, more of your attention, allow more ads to come to you, allow more data to be collected about you, which doesn't directly result in ads on that platform, but is sold to aggregators who aggregate it and then resell it to resellers who then show you ads based on the fact you watched this video. That's the thing. Also happens. I'm going to the protest. I will be going to the protest, and I will continue to be doing all of the acts of change that I'm doing, both things to tear things down, that has to happen, and to build things up, that also has to happen. But the fact that the response has been what the response has been on these invites, I think is my snapping point. As is my reflective table on my patio. It's clearly also a snapping point there. I hope you show up. And if this whole thing goes sideways, which, it might go sideways this weekend. It might not. I hope it doesn't. It might or might not. Regardless, I hope you chose to step into whatever you could actually choose to step into. That you did the best that you could do, knowing that you need to rest, knowing that you have trauma, knowing that you have limited resources, knowing that you already have obligations, knowing you're recognizing your limits, not pushing yourself beyond what is healthy for you. because this is a long haul. Well, we recognize that you stepped up and you did more than you were comfortable with. And even if this video does not age well, and in 4 years we're living in an ecotopia, which is exactly what I hope happens, and solar punk has become the world that we live in. Like, love this for us. I hold out hope that this is an option. Even if we end up there and this doesn't age well, I hope that you still showed up, because that helps you demonstrate to you that that's the type of person that you are. The goal here is for you to be able to understand that even in tough situations, even when I'm scared, even when I'm not suffering deeply right now, but the undocumented people in my neighborhood are, that when that happens, even if this is as bad as it gets and it only goes up from here, how likely is that to happen? But even if you showed up and to the best of your abilities, you did something when suffering was immense, because that's the type of person that your mama wanted to, if she didn't, wanted to raise you to be. That is how you are supposed to show up as a good human, regardless of your cultural upbringing, your religious upbringing, your spiritual upbringing, your economic upbringing, regardless of whose boot is on your neck. You are supposed to be a good person and show up when other people are suffering. That's pretty much a universal principle. And there's a lot of people suffering right now. There's a lot of people suffering right now. Should you live outside of the US? Should you live outside of the US and you're watching this one? I have a request for you to, in what ways you're able to, consider preparing your country to accept refugees from America. Maybe economic refugees, that's possible. Maybe social refugees or political refugees, or people who are just no longer able to function in the system because the government has taken everything away from them or threatens them because of their identity. Prepare your country to open to the idea of accepting American refugees. I hope we don't show up, but I'm seeing the girls talk in the signal groups about what it looks like to get out, because it's the safety here is going down real quick, especially for my trans friends. It's scary. It's truly actually scary. And they might need somewhere to go because it might not be safe here anymore. I know we have a lot of climate refugees. I know we got a lot of refugees from Ukraine. I know we have the Palestine situation happening right now. I am aware that there's likely some hurricane or cyclone that's hitting somewhere in Asia right now, and something is getting torn apart over there, right? Yeah, I get it. Australia, I don't know if you're still in a drought, but hope that's done. I get we have challenges, and I don't want to be like I'm a white man, so prioritize me. Although that's not how I identify. I don't want to be that guy. What's happening over here is bad too. It's bad in a different way, and as of now, we have not dropped any bombs or shot that many people, at least above our norm of shooting people and shoving them in prisons. We do that a lot over here. Kind of strange. We do that more than any other country. We're all worried about Russia, which we probably should be. But also, we have more people incarcerated and a higher murder rate than a lot of European countries. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, sorry. Yeah. Prepare the countries, hopefully. And please be willing to see the suffering that we are experiencing as real suffering. It is suffering in a different way than we see around the world, but it is still suffering. And I speak not as much for myself, but for all of the transhumans which are in my life that I love so much. Their suffering right now is immense, and their access to medical care is questionable at best. What are you going to do? I'm currently reading Atomic Habits again because I'm having a real hard time with my brain. focusing through this entire thing, be even restricting as much information and news as I can to myself to only really limited pieces of information, because data poisoning, if you're neurodivergent, specifically autistic, go look up the term data poisoning happens to me, and I just shut down. I've talked too much, and my brain now needs rest and recovery because we have not stared this deeply, maybe collectively, into the world that we're currently in. At least from this perspective, there are others. And it hurts. It hurts to do this. So I'm reading Atomic Habits. Brain's not working so well. And the thing I learned there is that if you would like to actually do something with the information you are considering in your life, this or other, then you must start with putting the intention down of, I will blank action at blank time. I will blank action at blank time. Better yet, I will, with this person, at this time, at this place, do these things. In writing, write it on a sticky note and put the sticky note visibly in your space. Visibly in your space so that you can see it. Set it as the background of your phone screen so you see it all the time. Bet you'll see it all the time there. And me too. And engage with that regularly, starting with just 1 minute a day. If you want to sit down and meditate, if that is your way of resisting because you need to get your mind straight before you can help with this thing, great. That is still resistance, but you need to actually do the work and show up to your meditation mat because it's no fool around time anymore. Show up to that consistently. Don't overdo it. Start with just a little amount. Find community to the best of your ability. I am struggling with that currently, struggling with that one. I think many of us are. We are all struggling with that one. And part of that might be being willing to engage with people who are not necessarily directly like you and that are not the perfect version of who you'd like your bestie to be, but are doing the work, but are showing up, and they're not having just frivolous conversations. To the best of their abilities as bros to be able to talk about their emotions, they're talking about their emotions. Turning to community that's at least trying, that is at least moving in the right direction, even if that they're not where you're at, is worth doing. Because you'll learn in that process too. Good luck out there. I hope this weekend's safe. I hope that this video does not age well. And I hope we end up watching it on my 35th birthday and say, wow, Spencer was a whack job. That didn't age well. And I hope that we can all cheers to that. Cheers to that one if that's how it turns out, everybody. But if not, I hope that you became the type of person that you wanted to be. That you would make your mama, and if not your mama, your bio mom, then the women in your life who have shown you kindness. Vague, I know. The women in your life who have shown you kindness. Show them what kind of human you want to be. Show the big mama in the sky, guy in the earth, what type of human you want to be, because it now matters. It's now go time. This is the launch code. Go. Hey, it's Future Spencer. I was working on editing the video, and I wanted to add in an editor's note. This video comes out of a moment which is very challenging for a lot of people. And it's not the goal of this video to guilt anybody into taking specific action, at least action I'm prescribing. That's item number one I want to say. Number two is the reason I think I'm publishing this now is I've re-entered my meditation practice, which I have held for many years and has come and gone over time. But the morning I recorded this video, I had sat for 90 minutes in a silent meditation. And just the grief that comes out of that is what I think has prompted this video. I don't agree, even with all the opinions I just published, 90 minutes ago when I was editing that thing. I've already shifted my perspective on a few things. And as you can tell, there's a lot of caveats. It's very fluid. I thought about not publishing this because it's not scripted, it's not put together perfectly, presented things better, phrased things better. But waiting until it's perfect and waiting until the message is sculpted and waiting until it has no rough edges and won't offend anybody and is exactly what I want to say is not my style of communication. I'm a move fast, break things guy, and then I will also sit down over tea and discuss stuff with people. So that's the last thing I'm saying here. If there's something that came up in this video and you're like, I don't know about that, Spencer's gone off the deep end, maybe I have, or maybe the entire country has. We'll find out shortly, or not. But that's an open invite to tea. If you want to sit down on my front porch and grab a cup of tea and talk about it, we can do that. Overall, I hope that the video you may have just watched offers something of initiating, of an invitation for you, an initiation, an invitation, a reminding of what you already know, that you can be a better person in this moment calls for it. You can be a better person in this moment is calling for it, whatever that looks like to you. But the thing that is not cool anymore is sitting on the couch playing video games indefinitely in unhealthy ways, is numbing out on social media. That activity, regardless of your context, that constant numbing, disassociation, avoidance, ostrich behavior, off the table. There's no pass cards for that anymore. There is moderation of information. Girl, I know. I'm trying to live under a rock the best I can and get my information from specific sources. Because, whew, but the total hiding is no longer cool, guys.